Hey guys, it's Amanda. So I've been playing around with a couple topics for my last video of this part of the semester, and Stephanie's post last week really got me thinking about the topic of supervision. So a little background on me, I've been in the field for about 5 years now. In that 5 year time, I've held two social work positions, and I've also been on site at my internship since January. So I really have supervision experience coming from three different places. A little more background on me: I paid my way through undergrad as a department manager in a hardware store. So the shift to social work was really different for me. And I've seen several different supervision styles. So when I first started in the field, I worked in a crisis unit for adults. And in that unit, there was both a program supervisor and a clinical supervisor. The program supervisor's job was really to facilitate staff meetings, ensure administratively that things were going well, and basically to divvy up the duties of the house. I signed on at a unique time at that agency because she was actually fixing to go on maternity leave. So that department actually went without a supervisor for a little while. But my experience with her was always that everything she said was in the best interest of running the house. Whether we always agreed with the new rules that she made or the schedule of the policies was a different story, but she was very straightforward and it's about the needs of the house to keep things running smoothly. My clinical supervisor on that site had a warmer personality. She was always willing to sit down and talk to you about different cases, things that were diagnoses specific, different activities that you could do with the different clients in the milieu at that time. She always had recommendations and books and worksheets and new things to try. And as much as she could, she'd come down and she'd observe and she'd give us some like hands-on tips, some in-the-moment things that we could do. And I really appreciated that support. Unfortunately, the administrative support that I received in that position was always very negative, and I really struggled with that negative supervisory experience. I never felt like the work I did was appreciated, and when I would bring up concerns because I was newer, I felt like a lot of them were brushed under the rug. So then I switched to my paid employment, and I went from the world of adults to the world of children. Now, the company that I work for, it was started by a family. Their backstory is they had four girls in their care, and the state came in and told them that they were going to change the regulations and that they were only going to be able to foster to adopt two of these four siblings. So what they did is they created a group home instead and called the girls living there part of the group home experience. So they took this really unique historic house and they turned it into a group home. And that program director has been in the field for 50 plus years now. She recently became semi-retired, but she really brought a lot of knowledge to the table. She was really friendly, really passionate about children and families and seeing them do well. She's always been open to feedback, always trying to not only better the program, but better people's lives. And that warm, caring, I'm behind my job 100% attitude has really inspired me. And it makes accepting constructive criticism from a supervisory experience better for me. I shared this in the feed with Stephanie, but on the inside, I'm a non-confrontational person. On the outside, I look like I tackle problems head on, but that's really from my experience and my willingness and learning to adapt to different supervisory styles. So in addition to that program director, when she stepped down, a new supervisor took over who's basically newer to the supervisory process. And it's been a learning curve for him, but one of the things I've really appreciated is his willingness to say, like, I don't know that answer, or I'll get back to you, or, I'm willing to listen to what your needs are right now. And I've appreciated that. I will say when he first took over, he was calling me every day for 2 weeks, checking in and seeing how my work was going. And I was brave, my non-confrontational self, and called a meeting and said, the program director told you I'll be the first one to reach out if I need something or if something's not going well or I have a question. but I'm really self-driven in my work, and that's kind of the spirit that this agency has fostered. And in a not so abrupt way, I just let him know that I didn't need that much, direct supervisory contact, and that if I needed anything, I could reach out. And he was responsive to that. He didn't take offense. And so that working alliance has gone really well. Now, on site, my supervisor comes off as like cool and mild mannered, and where I'm an extrovert, she's an introvert. So she was really willing to share her experience with me of learning to come out of her shell and give direction and give feedback and do so in a way that wouldn't hurt somebody or offend them, but it would help their work go smoother. So I really enjoyed that supervision experience because she's always willing to talk about ethics. She's always willing to talk about questions that I've come up with in the field. She's always willing to listen, and she always makes a place for me to give my input on something, or if I have a suggestion on something to help things run smoother, like the client system that I helped develop. She's just always open to that feedback, and I've really appreciated that and embraced that. So I know this video is a little long, but one of the things that I wanted to bring up is a supervision experience that I had recently. In my paid employment, I was supposed to have a meeting with a supervisor, and when I got there, it was sprung on me that I was going to the program director's office. And basically things with that program director were really negative. Instead of validating the work that I have done, I was told that I'm being reallocated to a different department in the agency. And what that really means is that with one service that I've been offering, I'm going to have to stop doing that and do something different. And that feedback was a little harder for me to accept. I kept my composure in the moment, but I think that meeting being sprung on me and the way the supervisor went around it, talking about being reallocated, really made me feel not validated. And so I know some of you have talked about your future employment and how you want to be maybe in a supervisory role. So just some feedback that I've noticed from these different supervisory experiences that I've had is that it's really important to be open in your communication. It's important to give people a heads up at times. It's important to be willing to listen and validating the hard work that social workers put in, because we really do put in a lot of hard work. And for me, it's not about the money. It's about the difference that I can make. And I think supervisors and the teams that we're on make a big difference in the impact that we can have in the community and with the populations that we work with. So I wanted to kind of wrap up this last video by asking you guys what kind of supervisor experiences that you've had and what has worked for you, so that we can just kind of give each other feedback moving forward in our careers. All right, it's been a fun semester, guys. Looking forward to hearing from you.